All right, welcome back to the Cardinal Country Podcast. This is your host, Jared Taluki, with episode 13. In this episode, we're going to sit down with seniors Corey Ahrens, forgot your plural, Allie Fagan, and Alyssa Villareal. All three are members of the bowling team. We're going to check in and see how the season's going. Corey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on again.
Yeah, thanks for coming back. The first experience was pretty good. Didn't scare you away?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
All right. Allie, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome aboard. And Alyssa, it's been a while.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, you too. Our paths haven't crossed in a couple years, I felt like. And then it was nice in this past week as we were getting ready to do this podcast, just catching up a little bit and chatting. So glad to see everybody's doing good. And welcome back, Corey. So first up, and anybody can feel free to field this question, or you can kind of chop it up and each one of you can speak to it. Tell me a little bit about how do bowling practices go? Like, when are they? Where are they? I mean, bowling is one of those things that it's not your typical, like, Michigan Center extracurricular, because most of them, like wrestling or basketball or football, your practices are going to be contained right here in-house, like on school grounds. And obviously we don't have a bowling alley here at the school. So tell us a little bit about that.
We practice right after school, 3 to 4:30, sometimes 5 at Suburban Lanes. And they usually go like boys are on their lane, girls are on their lane, JV's on their lane. And we do bakers, we do scotch doubles, we do actual games.
What's scotch doubles?
Scotch doubles is where you have two people on a team and the first person throws the first frame and the second person picks up the spare.
Got it. So you alternate back and forth, kind of. It's like a team effort type thing. And you don't mix then, huh? Like co-ed for boys and girls, so the coach doesn't trust you, doesn't want any hanky-panky going on? Or
I can answer that question. So the way it goes with the whole boys and girls, so girls can be on guys' teams, but guys can't be on girls' teams for like certain reasons. We don't know the 100% reason.
Because you can throw the ball so much harder?
I guess that could be an answer, but I don't think that's the actual answer.
I don't know, Corey. That sounds like a double standard to me.
I don't know.
But that's how it works, though.
That's basically how it is, yeah.
So in competitions, will there be, like, if it was a guys tournament or league or whatever you'd say competition, you could have a girl brought onto your team?
Yeah, so let's say we have a tournament and a lot of our guys were sick or they couldn't come. We could pull up people from the JV team, or we could pull girls over from the varsity team as well.
Okay, but you can't do it the opposite way.
No.
Yeah.
Right, that's correct.
So, like, what would be do guys typically have a higher average score?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, usually? Okay.
100%.
Does that probably just go to that they have a little bit more upper body strength and can throw the ball harder? Or no?
Well, that and, like, girls, like, when they mess up, they get irritated with themselves and they don't pick themselves back up. And guys are just like, whatever.
Guys can just roll with it.
Yeah.
Girls take it to heart more. I see. Yeah.
We're just rolling with the punches.
That is true. Guys and girls are kind of typically wired a little bit different. Yeah, I see that.
I can say that for sure.
Yeah. So Suburban Lanes is where you go to. How do you get over there? Do you take a bus, or does it just on everybody to, like, coordinate rides and meet over?
Actually, our school provides a bus to those who can't drive.
Uh-huh.
That leaves around 2:35ish, and then anybody that can drive is able to drive to Suburban. But then you have to be picked up, so our bus doesn't pick us up.
What time's your pickup every night? You'd be at, like, is practice like 2 hours or something, or kind of standard?
It depends. Sometimes we get out at 4:30. Sometimes we get out at 5.
Gotcha. Just depending on how it's going.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Do you practice, like, basically every day?
No, we practice on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Just Tuesdays and Thursdays. You might have said that, and I just, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Suburban Lanes. I remember, so I went to East Jackson, which a lot of kids that have had me in class would have known that. I'm local. I just grew up a couple miles away from Center High School, but went to East Jackson, and I remember one of, like, my coolest memories from, like, high school classes was during winter months. East Jackson High School is right next to Suburban Lanes, you know what I mean? Yep. And we would walk through the woods, kind of, this little trail, and every Friday we'd go bowling, and I loved it, man. I mean, I was never been good at bowling, but I've always enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, Suburban now has a path from the high school of EJ to Suburban.
Mm-hmm. So are EJ kids practicing there too?
They did last year, but this year their coach from last year decided to move them to Jack 60. But
where's that?
It's not. It's airport
That's
lanes.
the airport lanes.
Okay.
They got new owners.
Switched to Jack
I wonder
60.
why they'd move so far away when you have a bowling alley, like, right next to you. That seems weird. So,
I'm pretty sure they're moving back next year.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So on that coaching thread, there was a shift that they had made, but you guys also have a first-year head coach too, a new head coach, right?
Exactly.
Miss Hannah Schoonover.
Yep.
Yeah.
How is that going? How's she doing in year one?
Miss Schoonover, she's doing a great job, I think, as a coach this year. Not to dog on our coach from last year, but she just has more of a game plan. She's more connected us on a personal level because we're also her students as well, and a lot of us have had her in the past, or we're having her this year. I think she's doing a great job for her first season, and I feel like she has. She's pushing us to do really well because she wants to go to states this year for the first time.
Yeah.
As a team, at least. So hopefully we can pull through and get that for her.
That's cool. So she's pretty well organized. Was she a bowler in high school too?
Yeah.
So she's got some experience in it. And
She actually sometimes bowls with us.
Yeah,
Really?
it's actually a lot of fun.
can she beat you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can
She
say
hasn't beat me yet.
I beat her before.
She hasn't beat me yet,
Well, you're a guy, Yeah. No, I don't.
On that note too, she actually has brought home a trophy for us girls, and that's the first ever bowling trophy
Really?
for our school. Yeah.
Awesome. So, in terms of going to the state meet, what do you have to do in bowling to get to the state meet? Is there like a district or regional?
It's regional.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, we have a regional tournament, and that's the end of February, and we leave. Usually, we'll leave on a Thursday night, and we have the tournament Friday morning to the afternoon. And that's the team event, and then the next day we'd have the singles event. So you have two chances to go to states. You can go to states as a team, or you can go to states individually, and then states will be held the next weekend after that.
Where is it at? The state meet?
I'm not for sure where the state meet at. It depends what division you're in, but
Gotcha.
I know this year we're in a different division for bowling, so we bowl in Flat Rock this year.
Okay.
And a lot of teams who are local bowl usually bowl at Jack 60 for regionals.
Okay. So yeah, Flat Rock. I have an uncle that lives out there. It's about an hour drive,
Yeah.
so kind of more
Yeah.
Detroit-ish area. Yeah. Cool. Well, I hope you guys end up making it through. So that would be pretty cool and historic, having first center team ever to qualify through the state finals and that.
I actually think we're going to.
Yeah.
We're doing
Really, you're
us
looking
girls
good,
are-
huh?
I don't know if this is true, but I believe that this year, or for boys and girls, it's probably the best teams we've ever had for Michigan.
Awesome, man. That's great. So yeah, are there any individuals that have a shot at making it through too?
I would like to believe that almost all the girls could go, and almost all the guys on the varsity could go to state.
So everybody's got a fighting shot. Pretty competitive team all around then. That's good. That's awesome.
Usually when you go to regionals, there's usually about 150 people individually that are there. So and you play 6 games, and that's how you can determine your spots.
Now, were you saying Flat Rock, that's your regional meet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the regional meet, and then if you make it past that, then you'll find out, they'll tell you where states would be.
Last year, states for our division was actually in Muskegon.
Okay, yeah, so that's a pretty good drive too. That's good 2 hours or
Yep.
if not a little more. Yeah. Awesome. Do you guys know, what are the team records for the guys and girls?
Ours is 5-1. We have
5-1.
lost one against East Jackson.
EJ, how'd you lose to them?
I couldn't tell you.
It was a
Just
really
a bad
bad
day.
day.
Bad
And
day.
then when we had to remake it up, because the first time we played them, they kept saying they won, but then Miss Schoonover eventually added up the scores and we tied. So then we had to match them again on Saturday, and we were missing some of our varsity players. So we had
Yeah.
to call people.
Injuries and stuff. I mean, I hear you, because I coach wrestling, and that can kill you. We have a really good lineup this year in wrestling too, but when due to illness or injury or things like that, we can be missing some guys, and that puts some holes in your lineup and makes it a whole different kind of game.
Yeah.
I 100% do not know the boys' record, but I know we have lost to East Jackson, Napoleon, Grass Lake, and Manchester. But a lot of their players from those schools are really good, and a lot of them have went to the Junior Golds in Texas every
Okay.
year. So they're bowling
They're serious
200.
bowlers then, man. They're traveling the country for it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kingpin. Yeah. Awesome. How about individual records? And I wouldn't expect you to know everybody's individual record on
No
a team.
one is
but
undefeated, definitely not. I don't think
Yeah.
so. But a lot of people win and lose. But
how are you guys doing all individually? Do you know?
Um,
Because some of the wrestlers
I
on the
think
team
all
know
of
they
us
can
are-
rattle their record off right away. Others are
I
like,
think
I
all
don't
of
know,
us
coach.
are doing pretty well. I don't think we really have ever kept track of our
Yeah.
wins and losses.
Gotcha.
I'm
but-
personally doing pretty well. I didn't bowl the first 25% of the season due to some reasons that
Yeah,
can't be
all
said
right.
about everything. But I think my record now is 6-2 at least, or something like that. From
Yeah, that's
when I
good.
started, so
Good
decent.
deal. Yeah. So it sounds like we're being competitive, and I would imagine bowling's probably a fun sport, isn't it? You guys have a good
Yeah.
time,
It's a lot more fun than people think it to be.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
get along more, and we're more of a big family than most people think. Because a lot of people think you're just bowling the ball, and
Yeah.
it's all serious, and you gotta be. But we actually have a lot of fun bowling the ball. So.
For sure, man. That's awesome. Yeah, like I know, like wrestling is one of those sports. It's uber competitive, man, and it's really fun to win. But a lot of the rest of the sport is just, it's mentally fatiguing, and it is hard work and hard work. And I've always been kind of like looked at bowling and been a little bit jealous and like, man, I bet you guys just have a good time and just enjoy it.
I can tell you
Almost
that a
all the time.
lot of people think like, oh, I'm not going to that. It's so boring to watch. Like the Bakers are so
They're
intense,
really
and
intense.
competitive.
Yeah.
Like they're so fun to watch.
If you actually like
Yeah.
turn around during like our meets and stuff, and you look at the parents, you can just see them like biting on their fingers and standing
People
up.
getting into it, huh?
It's
Yeah.
super intense, actually. It gets
Cool.
really loud really
Yeah.
quickly.
It
And
really-
then the individuals are also like, if you're super close to the person across from you, because that's who you're supposed to beat for your
Yeah.
point, it's like, am I gonna get this? Am I not gonna get this? And it's just really intense.
Yeah.
And you get to order appetizers and pop. Do you?
Well, I mean, yeah, but
To an
to an
Yeah.
extent at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is
Yeah.
a mental game for sure. Like,
Oh, I'm sure it
like,
is. Yeah.
it is very easy to get in other people's heads. So that's more of a strategy that our guys do a lot. So like, 'cause we know if there's like a really really good team, we'll just be over like excited and try to get in their heads. And be
Yeah.
like, oh, you don't phase us at all. So
I would think bowling is totally one of those things that's like so much mental. You know what I mean? Like
it
the
really
physical
is.
end of it, you can probably get on par with another good person pretty quickly. But then like, man, just that mental edge and like holding it together. And I don't know, like I had done track and field when I was in school, and that was one of the most frustrating things to me because it was like I was pretty strong. I was stronger than most of the guys on my team, but like throwing that shot put and the disc, like I just didn't have very good technique, and I would get so mad at myself. And it was always like, if you're not getting your best throw, you feel like, I blew it. And like,
Yeah.
I feel like bowling or golf would be kind of like that too, that if you're not getting your best game and throwing it like the way you know you can, you'd get, do you ever get like just
Yeah.
grind your gears
That's
that
one
way
other
and get
thing.
frustrated?
Yeah, it's-
Yeah.
Last year I did really bad. Like I can tell you, last year whenever I was down on myself, my game just went to crap. Like you have to
Oh,
believe
yeah.
in yourself and like know what you're doing wrong. But if you don't know what you're doing wrong and you're just confused and everybody's telling you something and everybody's telling you something different and it just all gets in your head and you get wrapped up and you just have a bad game. But when you actually know what you're doing wrong and know how to fix it, you do a lot better.
You got to let those mistakes go, don't you? And just
Yeah.
go on past it. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
On another note, as Corey said, like the family extent, I know us girls, I think we know almost every single bowler on every other team. Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's
really
cool.
fun, like friendly game. Like we can sit there and have a conversation with the other team next to us, and I don't think you really get to see that during other sports.
Sure. Making connections
Yeah.
that way. Yeah, that is pretty neat. That'd be a neat aspect of the
Yeah.
sport.
We do have some motivation from Miss Schoon, so whenever we do well, she'll hit us with a quick dab. She'll dab
Oh,
on
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
us,
all right.
so
Hey.
something to work for.
Yeah, good deal. All right, I do think I'm getting to know her a little bit better. She's also a big fan of wrestling and comes to a lot of our wrestling events. Went to Hudson, and then wrestling's kind of a big deal down there. So I guess that's in her
went to
blood.
Hudson, and her mom works at
Yeah.
Hudson, so.
I actually met her mom we were at the Hudson tournament last weekend
Yeah.
and met her down
Mama
there.
Scoon.
Yeah,
Mama
Mama
Scoon.
Scoon, yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yes, I think she seems like a lot of fun, and yeah, it'd be a great coach. So I'm glad she's hitting it off, and you guys are hitting
Yeah.
off with her, and it's all going
It
good.
also helps that she's also very young, so we also can connect on that age level.
Sure.
She's only like 5-6 years older than all of us.
She's young and got energy
Yeah.
and not old and bitter and jaded yet. Right?
Yeah.
She also even with her having that extent into being a teacher at school, she also like pushes us to be better like with our academics. So as
Yeah.
soon as she sees somebody like fall off, she like is immediately right there to say, "Hey, what can I help you with?"
Goes into
So,
teaching, tutoring
Yeah.
mode, and helps them out.
It's a
Good
lot of
deal.
fun.
All right, well, this is an awesome podcast, and I appreciate you guys coming in because I feel like I know 100% more about bowling now than just coming into it a few minutes ago. What's your next upcoming event?
We have a tournament this Sunday called the Mel Wolf Tournament, and we are competing as a team. It's a team tournament, and hopefully we will place with boys and girls, hopefully.
Where's
Super.
that at?
It's
Jack 60.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's at the other one. That's the airport lanes?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
It will
So
always be known as airport lanes to me.
Yes.
Yeah,
They
to me
actually
too.
have-
Yeah, it's
They actually have a little bucket where, if they're speaking into a tournament thing and they say here at Airport Lanes, they have to put $1 in the bucket because
Really?
it's
Yeah.
Jack 60 now.
Jackson.
Very
it's
competitive.
airport lanes to me.
Mel
so.
Wolf tournament actually.
Yeah.
Last year it was very, very competitive for us girls. We didn't do that well,
Yeah.
but I think this year we'll go pretty far actually.
There you go. You got a chance to redeem yourself.
Yeah.
All right. It'll be a big weekend. So good luck, everybody.
Thank you.
Let's go through closing question or comments and my closing question for you. I'll just go right down the row here. Alyssa, what's the future have in store for you?
Actually, I am going to go to Jackson College to continue my bowling career and my academic career, and hopefully room up with Allie here.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. Do you have any idea what you'd want to get into as like a profession, a career down the road?
Yes, actually, I want to do early childhood education. I love my little kids.
Oh,
So.
all right. You got to be a special kind of person, special kind of personality for that. My
You
mom
you gotta have a heart for that.
was like a first grade teacher and had an early L certification and stuff. So yeah, I'd
Yeah.
go into her room sometimes and sub and be like, whew, I don't know if I could handle that. But
I've
I
had
think
my
that's
heart
one of
set
the
on
most
this.
important jobs out there. Yeah.
I've had my heart set on this since I was like 6 years old. So it's kind of awesome, like pursuing my dreams and
Good for you.
actually saying like I've stuck with this since I was little. So it's a
You know,
lot of
I was
fun.
kind of the same way. I knew I wanted to be like a teacher and a coach like way early on, almost like middle school. I think I was saying it or so, and then I always just kind of stuck with that and never changed my major in college or anything. And I can say I'm 37 years old and I'm pretty happy
Yeah, my
teaching
parents
history.
are
Yeah.
super like supportive on my decision and everything too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're gonna go into teaching. Like, are you okay with that? Knowing all like the statistics and everything?" And I was like, "Yeah, it doesn't really bother me. Like, you just have to have
Yeah.
that heart. You just gotta."
A lot of people
Understood.
get it or will get into education, and then within the first 5 years, like the fallout rate where people switch and go to something else is really high.
Yeah.
Which honestly, if that does happen, who cares? Then you move on to a different career.
I can
But
go
like,
right into babysitting.
but if you, if you've been thinking that for a long time, I mean, I was, and I didn't wash out and go to something different. So
Yeah.
I'd
I
say,
don't think I will.
yeah, if you
I
feel
think
like
I'll
that's a
stick
good
right
fit
onto
for you,
it.
man, stick with it. And
Yeah.
do it up. All right, Allie, what's the future have in store for you?
I've actually committed to the Jackson College bowling team yesterday.
Awesome,
to be
congratulations.
exact. And my future plans are to become a pediatrics nurse and work with little kids.
There you go. A lot of opportunities in that. Yeah, nursing and getting into the medical field in general. Man, a lot of opportunities out there, and definitely be able to snap up a job pretty quick. So
Especially out of JC. I know someone that has went through the nursing program, and she is starting out at Allegiance Health at like $30 an hour.
there you go, man. That's a pretty good gig. So like in JCC now, it has a start to finish, right? You can get your diploma, get a degree out of there. Yeah, for the nursing. All right, good deal. Well, good luck with all that, and congratulations on signing the bowl. Corey.
I'm undecided where I'm going to go yet. I'm choosing between Eastern Michigan and Western Michigan University at the moment. I would like to go into majoring in art and photography.
Okay.
And I think the main goal is to, after that, eventually move out East or West and start my own business after that.
There you go, man.
And I know Eastern, I've been leaning towards more Eastern, and they don't have a bowling program, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to be the one to start it up.
There you go. Get it rolling. Well, I went to Central for my undergrad, so I would encourage you to go to Eastern because Central and Western are arch rivals.
Oh,
And I don't know, I always have beef with Western people like Haynes and Cardenas, but I think that would be probably a pretty good university to go to too. But I had gone to Eastern for my master's degree, and honestly, I had a great experience there. I really liked Eastern,
Yeah.
and
I went and
some
took
of my best professors were from Eastern too.
I went and took a tour at Eastern this past weekend, and I tell you what, it was a little rough from that snowstorm we just had, but
Yeah.
it was all right. It was a very friendly environment. I like that it's like over towards the Ann Arbor area and
Yeah.
because like you're not that far away from all the big stuff, but you're far away enough to where you can like
Sure.
be on your own. It's still like a big city kind of feel.
It definitely is a big city kind of feel there. Very different from like a Mount Pleasant where
Yeah.
you're up kind of in the middle of nowhere, it feels like. And yeah, Eastern, you're in the heart of the action. And the other thing is you're pretty close to shooting back home too. If you got your own vehicle, you know, and you got to come do some laundry or something, you just hop on 94 and head right back to town and get it
For
taken
sure.
care of.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you for tuning in. This episode is coming to a close. Thanks for joining us. As always, we can be found on SoundCloud, YouTube, and on the school district's homepage under the community tab. Until next time, take care.